All right, finally, fellas, to the Midwest region. Gonzaga laid the smackdown on Kansas in the second round, giving us this rematch from Maui. Kai, Purdue laying 5.5 in the rematch from the first game, just to remind some people. Rather low scoring game. Neither team really shot it well. The start of the game was odd. Graham Ike hit 2 threes, and it seemed like, oh, he's going to unlock the defense. Purdue's going to have to play him on the perimeter. Then he got in a little bit of foul trouble. And just historically, he went 2 for 6 from three in that game. In the 30 game since, he's 1 for 6. It is a complete outlier. He does not shoot threes. I don't think that's going to be something that happens. And again, it's so hard for a front line to avoid foul trouble against ED. Utah State got into it immediately. What are you looking at with this one, Kai? As well as the Zags are playing, can they keep up with the Boilers?
Yeah, this is EK versus ED. That is the matchup. Both teams play through the post among the heaviest percentages of any team in the country. Uh, Defending the post, both teams really good at it. So it's literally strength versus strength here. Now, I would say whoever gets in foul trouble loses, ED or EK. If ED's off the floor for Purdue, they'll obviously struggle. If EK is off the floor for Gonzaga, they'll struggle. Game one, you mentioned EK, 4 fouls, ED, 0. ED had 25 and 14 and 0 fouls against Gonzaga in the first matchup. I trust ED a lot more to play without fouling. I worry heavily for Gonzaga if EK is off the floor. Now, can they go with a more mobile 5 that can shoot the 3 if EK is out? Yes, they could. However, I do like Purdue's supporting cast also better than Gonzaga's. So I'm going with the Boilermakers here against my better judgment on Matt Painter, in the last couple of years in the tournament.
Yeah, I very torn on this one. Just a good way to look at this. It's funny that Purdue could potentially face all three Maui teams that they beat in their path if it shakes out that way. The spread in that November 20th matchup against Gonzaga closed 5.5. So basically, if you accept the fact that nothing has changed from then to now, you could attack that from both teams. Shim, that from that lens, as like I kind of like Gonzaga with the way they've, it feels like they've improved, got a lot better. Um, and I know Purdue was awesome and like all the way awesome against Utah State, but I look at that game again using my context of path to get here is like that was a Utah State white flag to me. Like Danny Sprinkle was inked to Washington. I think that was just a we're done, and there was no fight along with that being a bad matchup. I don't think we've actually seen Purdue be tested this turn, so I think this game is closer. Uh, I'm with Kai. I don't know if I want to actually take. I feel like I should be getting 6 or 7, just the gut of how dominant DD is. But I think there's value on Gonzaga a little bit, smidge.
Man, I'm not touching this one. I think I bet Gonzaga, or, I bet Purdue back in that opener, all the way back in Maui. I just had them rated higher, and I think they've improved since then, but I think Gonzaga's improved more to where now I think the line is somewhat correct. Purdue's guards have really not been tested. That's the thing everyone's been kind of holding over their heads all season is, are they going to be able to handle some pressure when it comes? Are they going to be able to get the ball to ED against teams that can take that away? Well, I think Mark Few is going to have a nice game plan trying to scheme the ball out of ED's hands. Purdue just has such a deep array of sets. Again, Kyle, you mentioned some of the UConn ones that have been all over Twitter. Purdue has had a few plays go really viral this week too. And Gonzaga's like bottom 120 in the country, 246th in defensive turnover rate. Like they're not going to be throwing stuff at Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer that are going to stress them out. I think Purdue is going to be able to get into their stuff. And once they do, it is so good and it is so hard to stop Edie within that. That as long as it's not ice cold shooting from Purdue, they move on. Perhaps there's a little shooting regression coming from Purdue because, yeah, they shot the lights out against Utah State, but man, everything was open. Like Matt said, maybe a little white flag from Utah State in the second half there. So staying away from this game, this one's fully a sit out for me.